Today we are going to be going over some brand new bonding products released in the Keratin Healing Oil line that are just kind of blowing my mind. And I wanted to show you guys a couple of techniques. So we're gonna do 3 quick techniques today. One for lifting, a really cool intuitive foiling technique that we can do with curls while still protecting the curl pattern. And then we're also going to be doing a smooth and set using our new smoothing styler, as well as a flat ironing technique using the smoothing styler. One of the things I love about the Bond Smoothing Styler is its versatility. So right here, we're gonna dive right into it because I wanna make sure that I get you guys as much information in the short amount of time that we have. I've gone and I've sectioned this mannequin on a diagonal, so diagonal up here, or forward diagonal, and I'm going to be moving through this half of the head on this forward diagonal, moving all the way up. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple of foils in each section, and then right on the diagonal, I've gone in and we've misted her hair, so she has curls, she has a medium curl pattern. And I've misted her hair so that we can make sure to see her curl pattern. Typically on a live client, we've done an ultimate treatment first. So her hair is already damp. And this helps to show our curl pattern. And that is going to be really important. I want to go through with medium tension, too much tension, and I'm gonna, stick together our coil patterns too much, too loose a tension, and we're going to create too much separation. All right, so, and most importantly, let's go ahead and finish up my decolorizer. So in here, I have 30 grams of our powder decolorizer with 20 volume developer, and I'm going to add in about 5 grams of the Bond Reconstructor here, and that is about a pump and a half. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in. It mixes in really, really easily. It does not dilute my lightener. I do not have to make any adjustments for time or developers. I put it in there and then I forget it's there. All right, now we're ready to start. So now that I've got her coil pattern, nice and easy to see here, I'm gonna come along the parting and I'm going to pick up individual coils in a thin slice. So we're weaving, but intuitively. So I'm gonna come along here and I'm gonna select the coils that I would like to bring brightness to or dimension. All right, so we end up with this intuitive weave. I'll show you guys here how we've picked up individual coils. This is a fantastic way to intuitively highlight so that your curls do not get, or your highlights don't get lost in the curls. Now, one of the problems that I run into when I am going in and lifting or even coloring hair, especially curls, is relaxing of the coil pattern temporarily. This is really, really common. I'm sure you guys have noticed when you are doing lightening services to your curly clients that for sometimes just up to 1 shampoo afterwards, and sometimes it can be a week or 2, there is a slight relaxing in their coil pattern. Something that I've typically told my clients is during the consultation to expect this, right? So I let them know that, you know, sometimes after the first shampoo, they're gonna see that natural spring come back in their coil pattern, and sometimes it can take up to 2 weeks. Now, what I love about using the Rapid Bond Reconstructor in my lightening services is that it greatly diminishes the amount of time it takes for those coils to spring back up. So we get an instant visual gratification for our clients. My clients are loving this. I have also done this exact foiling technique on my own hair. I'll let you guys get a peek in their hair in just a little bit. And I was blown away by how much natural spring I had immediately after my lightening service. My hair is medium to tight curl pattern, right? So it is very easy to visually see the relax in that coil pattern right after lightning service. And I was able to have so much spring right after. The biggest reason, so we're gonna go ahead and do this bottom section here before we drop down our next section. The biggest reason that we see the reduction in the loosening of the coil pattern right after our service is that rapid bond reconstructor doesn't just focus on one kind of bond, all right? We're focusing on all three bonds that are found in the hair. So that's our covalent bonds, our ionic bonds, and our hydrogen bonds. Let me get this foil on here. There we go. Half of this live will be you guys watching me fight with my foil. There we go. Perfect. Now, the bond that I want to focus on for this curly foiling technique is those covalent bonds, because those covalent bonds are your disulfide bonds. And your disulfide bonds are greatly responsible for the structural integrity of the hair. So when we weaken or shock those disulfide bonds, we see a slight relaxing in the coil pattern. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. So by using this rapid bond reconstructor in the lightning service, we're protecting all three of those bonds, but visually, we get the most bang for our buck because we're focusing on those disulfide bonds as well and protecting them during the lightning service when it comes to curls and waves. Here we go. Put those over there. And then we're going to do one more section so you guys can get a good look at this foiling pattern. Pull these down for you and then we'll resaturate. Now, the next best thing about this rapid bond reconstructor is that I can prescribe it to my clients to take home with them. So we can use it as a mask, and with Lanza, that typically means that we will shampoo or cleanse the hair first, apply the mask, and then let it set for 2 to 3 minutes and rinse out and sandwich in between the shampoo and the conditioner. Hey guys, I see a lot of new faces are hopping on. We are just going through and doing an intuitive coil pattern, or an intuitive foil pattern, sorry, on our curly mannequin today. Clip these out of the way. When we are using that rapid bond reconstructor, whether in our lightener, as a mask, or as a leave-in product, which we will talk about, we get the benefits of the reactive cross-link that's going to help rebuild the molecular bridges for any damaged bonds, and then also help to protect and strengthen any bonds that aren't damaged. It's also going to help to break up and remove hard mineral buildup, smooth out any uneven surfaces, not disturb my coils here. So I'm going through, I've saturated her hair, and I am just applying some medium tension to help reform those coils so that as I go through here, I can intuitively pick up already formed coils. All right, here we go. So we're gonna come across here and pick up by weaving across her natural curl pattern, which is going to give us, show you guys here. So we've got this uneven weave, and as we allow that hair to scrunch back up towards the scalp, you can see we've got all these individual coils woven as thinly as a slice to come in and apply our foil. Now let's talk about if we're prescribing, our rapid bond reconstructor to our clients for at-home usage, and they have hair that is more coarse or hair that is more damaged. We can prescribe this as an overnight mask. So they can shampoo, condition, come out of the shower, gently towel dry their hair and apply the Rapid Bond Reconstructor and sleep in it so that we get added benefit. Here we go. Perfect. Or for extremely damaged or very coarse hair, we can use it as a leave-in treatment. I am a huge fan of using it as an overnight mask in my hair. I cannot stay away from lightener, as you guys can see here. But my hair is very fine. So I have super thick, fairly curly hair, but it's really fine. So when I'm going to lift, I have to break through a lot of eumelanin to get, honestly, past the level 6. My hair really has to fight at that level 6. And a lot of times, my fine hair gets really upset at me while I'm doing that. So I will use the Rapid Bond Reconstructor in my hair, and then when I get home, set my little Rapid Bond Reconstructor in my shower and at my next shampoo, then follow up, apply, wrap my hair, sleep in it, and rinse it out in the morning. If you have any questions, feel free. I am trying to monitor our comments here. So we have 2 sections on a forward diagonal broken into one big triangle on the hair. And we're going to do our last foil laying right on the top here. I'm going to use medium tension again, so I've dampened. All right, dampened. Now I'm going to use medium tension, just using my fingers to comb through so that I can see visual bunches of coils up at the root area. Make sure you guys can see really well here. And then I'm going to come in and, like I was doing a weave, except I'm going to intuitively pick up these coils. And what's great about this technique is you can visually see how successful you were as soon as you get that section pulled out. So we've got our intuitive weave here, and then we can go ahead and let those coils bunch up. So it is really easy to see how those coils are going to lay and impact the rest of the hair. So right near the face and right at the top, we still have a ton of color show, right? But as it comes through the ends, because we are only picking up the top sections of those coils, our hair is, the curls themselves are diffusing those ends for you. So you get a lot of brightness and color show with a lot of soft diffusion. So I'm showing you guys here. You can see one of my diagonal sections, right through here, right? And then I have a ton of fun playing around with the layout. So let's go ahead and foil this last section. Again, we're using that powder to colorizer with 20 volume, with 30 grams, and then 5 grams of the Rapid Bond Reconstructor. All right. Some of those active ingredients, or the bond building actives that are found in the Rapid Bond Reconstructor are olive oil, cactus plant, apple extract, as well as apple cider vinegar. Here we go. Go ahead, saturate through my ends. And then I'm going to show you guys a finished mannequin. So you have myself that has this technique on those forward diagonal, or those are diagonal backs, in one giant diamond throughout the head with an intuitive weave. Right, go ahead. All right, let's look at a finished mannequin. So on our finished mannequin here, I have 2 sides of the head. One side is done with slices and one side is done with our intuitive weave, right? So this side is done in slices and this side is done with our intuitive weave, right? And that's the entire head there. And then from the front. So we get a lot more visual impact and a lot more dimension which helps to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Helps to increase the amount of visual definition that we're bringing to her coil pattern, right? And then on this side, we have done the exact same foil pattern on those diagonal backs all the way up and taken slices. Here we go. All right, let's talk about the next product. So on this mannequin, I have gone through and blown out with a boar bristle brush on half of her head because we're going to be using the new Bond Smoothing Styler to do a curly set as well as do a flat iron and help silk out through her ends here so you guys can see the versatility of this product. I'm also going to show you a couple of my go-to cocktails with the Bond Smoothing Styler. So we'll start on this side here. All right, and I'm going to grab my go-to smoothing cocktail right now. So we have our Bond Smoothing Styler, which helps to soften that cuticle and smooth that cuticle. And again, is going to go in and focus on repairing and maintaining all three kinds of bonds found in the hair, guys. This is incredible. It's incredible stuff, all right? And then I'm going to be cocktailing it with our Smoother Balm before I go in and section for a flat iron. So I'm going to do equal parts, so about one pump and one pump. Here. Now this is a powerhouse duo for smoothing. Whether we are going through and doing a smoothing finishing service, look how beautifully those cocktail together. And it is not heavy, it is not sticky. And the moment we go through here with heat, it softens, it has so much shine, so much humidity blocking, frizz fighting capabilities, and of course is a UV shield and heat shield. Make sure I've got this evenly dispersed through here. Love the smoothing balm. It's so lightweight and it doesn't weigh down fine hair. Absolutely. It is versatile. All right, so we've got this smooth through here. And you guys will get to see, so here's her natural pattern. And I've just sectioned her in half, blown out with a boar bristle brush on this half to prepare for our flat iron. We come in here and we're going to section out our first section. And then I'm going to be using clips to make sure that we've got a lot of control here and so that you guys can clearly see our sectioning. All right. Reorient this tray here. Now we've prepped her again with that Bond Smoothing Styler. One of the main reasons we get so much shine and smoothness in our finish is because that resurfacing elixir helps to smooth out gaps and uneven surfaces along the hair strand, as well as to soften the cuticle. So when I'm coming in here, I've got my carbon comb so that I don't melt it, all right? And I'm gonna take my flat iron and I'm going to tap, tap, tap up at the roots here. Let me move her just a little. Let me know in those comments if you guys have a hard time seeing, because I can always. So tap, tap, and then we're going to bring halfway through. I will stop, leave out the ends, insert my section into the fine tooth side of my comb, make one more pass through the mids, follow down through the ends. Make sure I've got good tension on here. And then I'm gonna pick her up so you guys can really see this difference. Look at this, shiny, smooth. She has so much movement. All right, and here is our side that is just blown out. Isn't that incredible? Let's go ahead and do one more pass through this bottom section. Go. Gonna come in here on the angle, enter in, doing those same tap tap motions. By pairing together the koi seed as well as that the elixir in the smoother balm, as well as the styling or the smoothing styler, I get long lasting smoothness even in Kentucky, where it might not be as humid as some of our other states here, but where I'm located, it is sandwiched right at the Ohio riverbed. And look at this. Look at all that movement. It's so gorgeous. And we get smooth, straight styles that last multiple days up to a week. And that bond smoothing styler, we can always go through and re-add it through the ends for touch-ups. I recommend each time we do any heat touch-ups that we go in and reapply our product because we've already used up some of that thermal protection. And then also I did want to go back to that hard mineral breakup that we get from both of those products. This is something that happens over time, and with repeated use, you will see a dramatic difference in the flexibility, the softness, and the shine of your hair. So beautiful. All right, let's go to her curly side, and I'm going to show you guys my new favorite smoothing or smooth and set cocktail using this smoothing styler. Go ahead and clip this section out of the way so we can get a really good look. All right, so I've got my 3 products over here. We're going to be using that Bond Smoothing Styler, the Curl Flex Memory Gel. This is going to give us our hold to help support our set so that even as it dries and with multiple day wear, she still has enough support and memory, obviously, and memory to hold that style and that set even after refreshing curls for several days without any flaky buildup. So I am on day, what is today, Wednesday? So I shampoo, I'm on day 3, and look at this. There's no flaking, no buildup, no dryness, no crunchiness. I get movement, I get shine, I get frizz reduction, and I get control while still applying and reapplying my styling cocktails each day. I'm gonna raise her up just a little bit. All right, so we're gonna go through, resaturate her, and then I'm going to use one of my absolute favorite products from the Lanza Curl line, which is our Curl Restore. It's a leave-in moisture mask. And I like to, any curly styles that I ever do, always start with a foundation of moisture. So I'm going to get her hair pretty saturated because we're gonna go in and be adding a lot of visual detail, accentuating her coil pattern. All right, so right now she is just prepped with water. I'm going to go in and apply a little bit of our Curl Restore. It is a powerhouse of moisture. It is lightweight. It is not sticky, and it cocktails with just about everything, but I am choosing to layer it just because I want to make sure that I get it completely distributed through here before I come in and create our curly cocktail or our curl-tini. Apply, and then make sure we get it really distributed. So the set that we're going to do today is intended for quite a bit of visual definition, right? We always have 2 choices really when it comes to how we're going to choose to set or style curls, right? On the one hand, we have maximum definition, right? That means we want each individual coil to be as defined as possible, or the individual hairs to be working together in large groupings. So in our set, if that's what we're aiming for, we want a lot of moisture. That's both starting out with very saturated hair with water, as well as layering in a moisture foundation first. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of my Curl Flex gel, and I'm going to cocktail it together with that Bond Smoothing Styler. All right, this cocktail is going to ensure that during my set, and then whatever drying technique I use, look at that. So easy to cocktail together. And whatever drying technique I use, I'm able to maintain smoothness. I can always choose to expand and lean more towards that volume side, because we can pick definition or we can pick volume, right? We cannot have 100% definition with 100% volume. But even after it's set, if I choose to start expanding those coils to add more volume, I still get smoothness, I still get shine. Also, the detangling capabilities are phenomenal. One of the things that I'll do for my clients who have particularly coarse or particularly difficult hair to section, or the ends start to wrap around each other, to make sure that I'm minimizing damage and to move through my sections more easily, especially if I'm having to work on dry hair, depending on the technique that we're using. I will go ahead and put the Bond Smoothing Styler or some of the Curl Therapy leave-in conditioner from our curl line onto the hair beforehand and start to just distribute gently with my fingertips, breaking up coil patterns, breaking up any knotting that happens a lot of times right in the back and around the face, so that I can move through those sections conscious of not causing mechanical damage. All right, so I'm going to actually just add a little bit more water because our mannequin is drying really quickly. Hey guys, so we are going in and we are doing a wet set for tons of definition. All right, we have her prepped with Curl Restore as a moisture base, and then we have cocktailed together the new Bond Smoothing Styler with our Curl Flex Memory Gel. Now, we have a couple of options when it comes to setting. Today, I'm actually using our No Touch Retouch clip. So I've got 4 rows on here. Her hair is a little bit short to use this No Touch Retouch clip, but it's one of my most commonly used tools in the salon. It's great for working through sections because I can just set the section up here and then bring it down. But I'm going to be using it to set today because I get quite a bit of tension because of the rows and the spacing for working in smaller sections. So I'm going to take this clip and inserting it right at the root area using quite a bit of tension. I'm going to move all the way down, all the way through the ends, let that hair coil back up, and then I'm going to scrunch gently on the ends. We have a choice whenever we are choosing to scrunch, right? And I want to show you those 2 things before we hop off here. And I will be uploading our finished results into the comment section on this live. My hair, as well as our Intuitive Foil mannequin and our wet set and flat iron over here. So whenever we set and we go to scrunch, we can do this, right? And we can get in there and puff it up. And you guys see what happens there? We create a lot of separation in the coils. This is going to give us more volume, right? So if we're looking for a ton of definition, whenever we do our set and we're going to scrunch, we want to bring up and pulse and then let it drop down right in its section. All right, so let's go ahead and do this back section here. Something I have noticed about using that Bond Smoothing Styler in my curly cocktails is that it makes it incredibly easier to soften and open after the hair is 100% dry and we've done our set. So by softening and opening, I mean that hair is dry, right? And we can come in with something like our neem plant serum here. You can also use keratin healing oil. Another one that I really love is the new keratin healing oil shine spray. So here is our foil pattern from earlier on a finished model, right? And she was set using this same technique, and now she is 100% dry. So I'm going to take a little bit of that neem plant serum, and I'm going to completely coat my fingers in it. So that way I have a ton of slip. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to smooth through these coils and gently scrunch to soften, open, and bring a ton of shine and movement. You guys see the difference in those two sets, right? It's set completely the same, the exact same foil or head form layout for those foils. The only difference is that on this side I took slices and on this side I did an intuitive weave, right? So on this side, even though we now have, let's go ahead and give her a lot of volume here. Even though we now have technically more volume on this side, let's get it really dramatic here, right? We have more volume on this side. Visually, this side appears to have more definition. And then Angelina says, thank you for the education. Love this. Oh, perfect. Yes. Thank you for tuning in. All right, guys, look at that. Isn't that incredible? Even though we have more volume here, visually, it looks like she has more definition on this side than she does on this side. And the only difference is that intuitive weave pattern and then the amount of dimension, because on this side, I glazed her with our Lanza liquids in a copper. I think it was the 8C, just to kind of mellow out some of the undertone after we lifted. And then on this side, I came in with our 9P in Lanza liquids to bring a little more contrast between the dark and the light.